In today's episode, we touch upon a chapter filled with profound sorrow from the Georgian-Abkhazian War of 1992-1993, the March Offensive. A moment in history that saw Abkhazian fighters with hearts full of hope crossing the Gumista River on March 15, 1993, in a daring counterattack. They seized vital positions near Sukhum, dreaming of liberation. Yet, like a previous offensive, this too could not break through the initial barriers. What followed were bloody battles that painted the spring of 1993 with the colors of loss and mourning. The Abkhazian units, after fierce combat, retreated, leaving behind more than 200 souls who would never return home, and over 20 vanished into the mist of the unknown. The aftermath saw those who perished laid to rest in a mass grave near the Republican Hospital, a somber reminder of the cost of freedom. It wasn't until after the war's end in November 1993 that a glimmer of closure was offered to the grieving. Families came forward, identifying their lost loved ones through remnants of their past lives, a piece of clothing, a personal belonging, though some remained nameless shadows. Among the mourners was Nonna Margazia from Gagra, who faced the heart-wrenching task of identifying her husband, Vadim Debar. Vadim had disappeared during the March Offensive, leaving behind a family torn by uncertainty. Nonna, surrounded by others engulfed in their grief, searched for Vadim, clinging to any sign that might lead her to him. It was a real hell, she recalls, the air heavy with sorrow, as we stood by the mass grave hoping, praying. Vadim, who was posthumously awarded the Order of Leon for his bravery, was one of the many heroes whose stories echo the tragic cost of conflict. The episode also shares the harrowing experience of Tengiz Gabunia, a war veteran who lost 2 nephews in the offensive. The act of recovering bodies from the grave, he recalls, was a task so grim it left a mark on his soul. The stench of death lingered on my clothes, no matter how much they were washed, he said, a testament to the horrors witnessed. His nephews, Batal Japua and Merab Tarnava, were honored heroes, but the memory of their loss haunts him still. Journalist and poet Bela Bartsits recounts her journey to identify the fallen, describing a scene so bleak it defies imagination. It was beyond the most terrifying nightmares, she says, reflecting on the profound grief of a mother finally able to lay her son to rest. In those moments of shared sorrow, Bela found her role as a journalist secondary to the collective need for empathy and support. This episode is a tribute to those who faced the unimaginable in the shadow of conflict. It's a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, the depth of our sorrows, and the sacrifices made in the name of freedom and homeland. For more details on this heartrending story and the March Offensive, visit our website at abkhazworld.com.